guys like that don't fall out of trees. He's a good player at a position where, that they're hard to find. And so, you certainly don't just give guys like that away, and we can, I guess, foot the bill if you want to describe it as that. And so, we'll be patient with that one.
The saying is guys like that don't grow on trees. If any quarterback was going to find a way to fall out of a tree, it would be the injury-prone Jimmy Garoppolo. So I don't like that metaphor very much, but I think I get the point. The problem is they already got a guy that they want to develop. And unless Kyle has come up with a two-quarterback offense where you put them both on the field at the same time and make it work that way, this is a player that you don't need. But they continue to squat on him because they think that they're going to luck into a trade. Maybe after the draft, a team that's targeting a quarterback doesn't get the guy they want. Let's go trade for Jimmy G. Or during camp, freak injury, Teddy Bridgewater, 6 years later, something like that happens to a starting quarterback. Let's go get Jimmy G. That's what they're waiting for.
Yeah.
I just don't get the impression Jimmy G's all that thrilled about sitting around and waiting, because there's a chance that when Labor Day weekend rolls around and the roster's cut to 53, he's gone. He's man without a country, man without a salary, man without anything, and every other team has its depth chart set, and the budget is definitely blown by then, Chris. Who's going to give him $25 million? Who's going to sign him to a contract that he thinks he deserves if the 49ers squat on him all the way until the end of the preseason?
Yeah, no, I'm agreed. I mean, let alone that contract. I mean, I know there's ways to finagle and wiggle around stuff, but Bosa and Deebo Samuel, I would think money off the books there would help that, at least make it easier. If I'm Jimmy Garoppolo, yeah, of course you don't want to be sit there and held hostage. Absolutely not. And to where the 49ers got to be a little careful too is, I don't know, they got to make sure they don't do him dirty, in my opinion. That's where it's a little different as well. They keep speaking highly of him. The locker room keeps speaking highly of him. So therefore, I just feel like if you kind of do them dirty and hold them hostage, and then it's just like, we didn't find a place for you. We're cutting you, on August 31st or whatever. That's not gonna, the locker room's not gonna love that. It's not gonna go. They're gonna look at it and go, man, that's effed up that they did that. They did hit him like that. The guy who brought us to the Super Bowl and another NFC Championship game. That's where it's, to me, yes, keeping him around, it seems like it's more headaches than it's worth at this point. And, I'm with you in the fact that I don't think they're going to get anything special for Jimmy Garoppolo unless something crazy happens. That would be to me. And, again, I'd be one of those guys, if I'm a team out there, I'm not trading away a first-round pick from Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm not trading away a second-round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo. That's not happening. It's not. You have Trey Lance. You want him to be the starter. You just told us you think you're ready to be the starter. We heard Shanahan say that at the owners' meeting, and you're hearing Lynch say it yesterday. Why would you trade that away? And then, to me, you question Jimmy G in general anyways. How good is Jimmy G? I know he's good. I know you could get to the Super Bowl there. But, your team's got to be really damn good, too. The 49ers team and roster is certainly one of the best in football. And they were the best team the year they lost to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. The Chiefs just had the best player in the league on the team that overcame it that day. I mean, that at least would be my 2 cents. And then I ask myself all the time, I go, yeah, how good is Jimmy G? He was with, the Patriots and Josh McDaniels, and then he was with Shanahan, who's wanted to sell him away every day since after year 1, and they still make it work. So that's where I think the league questions it, and I just don't see the worth in Jimmy Garoppolo, maybe that the 49ers seem to be so stubbornly holding on to here.
And had to talk him into trading for him in the first place when he was just months away from getting Kirk Cousins in free agency. Remember, there were the quotes from John Lynch along the lines of how disappointed Kyle was and it didn't really want to do this, and they did it. And there's just always been this sense of hesitation to fully and completely embrace Jimmy Garoppolo. And last week on Thursday, we haven't had a chance to talk about this, Garoppolo was on with Adam Schein. He did a few other media appearances. For some reason, our invitation got lost in the cyberspace. But I digress. He said that the 2021 experience with Trey Lance there was strange and it's something he wouldn't wish on anyone.
Yeah, of course.
That makes it hard for the 49ers to sell this idea. I will just keep him and pay him $25 million.
Yeah, they'll be happy. Jimmy's good dude. He'll be good in the background, sitting there, just getting screwed over. No problem. I know. Yeah, that's what I mean. I feel like Jimmy is, at some point he's going to make life hard on them. I do think part of the surgery and all that was to make it hard on them. So there's something at play here, and I think if he's smart and a good businessman, like we talk about as far as football is concerned, yeah, at some point he's got to apply the pressure and probably say and do a few things that he normally wouldn't do just to force his way out of town.
There is one other wrinkle I hadn't mentioned before that I noticed last night when I looked at his contract breakdown, and I don't think it's a major impediment, but it is a factor at least for now. He had that surgery. Now, he did it without informing the team. Just he shows up one day, hey, I had surgery on my throwing shoulder after last season. He's got, and he earned this by hitting incentives during the Super Bowl year of 2019. He's got $7.5 million of his salary this year guaranteed for injury. So they technically can't cut him until he passes a physical. If they do, he's got $7.5 million that would be earned, but it would be offset by whatever he would earn elsewhere.
Right.
So, I mean, it's not a huge wrinkle, but if they do cut him now, he's still on the books for $7.5 million until he earns it somewhere else. But I would assume if he's cut right now, he would end up earning at least $7.5 million somewhere else. The sooner the 49ers cut him, the sooner he can earn the money elsewhere to offset the $7.5 million. If they wait until he passes a physical and cut him, they don't owe him anything. So it's just another wrinkle that raises the stakes for the 49ers. Yeah, and I think from Jimmy G's perspective, I think he's hoping they say, wait a minute, let's just go ahead and do this now so someone else will sign him and pay him the money, and they can be the ones
to deal with the injury.
Assume that he's going to be healthy.
Right.
Because once they commit to pay him for this year, we're off the hook. I think maybe that's what Jimmy G was trying to finagle here, but they haven't bitten yet. They still think that they're going to wait, they're going to be patient, and that they're going to get lucky. And the clouds are going to part some way, somehow, and they're going to get value in trade for Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're eventually going to cut him. I made a bet with someone over the weekend.
Yeah.
Someone on Twitter that I don't know.
Right.
Guy offered to buy 10 copies of Playmakers if Jimmy Garoppolo is cut. If he's traded, I have to send the guy a free signed copy of the book. So I think it's a good bet. I'll take the 10 copies.
Yeah.
I think the guy's going to Welsh. I don't know who he is, but I made the bet. I'm willing to make the bet because I think he is going to be cut. I don't think he's going to be traded.
I think if you made me bet, I would probably go down that line as well. That I would go, I think with all things, taken into an account, it's going to take something dramatic or crazy to happen for me to think he's going to get traded. Like you said, the Teddy Bridgewater type training camp injury, something of that nature. But even then, I think the 49ers got to think twice about even getting that far into training camp with having Jimmy Garoppolo there at training camp with Trey Lance. Hey, Trey, it's your time to take over the team. Hey, Jimmy's here. He was the starter, blah, blah, blah. Hey, how's it taking over the team and taking over the guy's job that's right here? And it's just going to be constant. Like, why would you want to deal that? Why would you want to put your star rookie quarterback, even in that scenario, to start training camp, to have to answer those questions and deal with that? And then, oh, man, third day of practice, Trey Lance, the new starter for the 49ers, man, was he outperformed by Jimmy Garoppolo in practice today. You're asking for a recipe for disaster if it gets to that point, in my opinion, there.
And here's the best example I can think of as to what's really going on. The 49ers went out and bought a really expensive house. And they spent a lot of money and they were happy with it, but then they realized the roof leaks all the time, the furnace breaks. It's always something. There's always something about this house. And they eventually got sick of it and they went and bought another house. But they still have the first house. And they're trying to tell everybody how great the first house is so they'll come and buy it, knowing full well that the roof leaks all the time, the furnace busts, the sidewalk's cracked. It's always something. But they think that people should be lining up to buy the house that they had to move out of for the more expensive house that doesn't have those problems, or they don't know yet. They haven't moved into the house. They're caught between the two houses. We can't move into the new house until we can't fully move into the new house until we sell this house. Will somebody please buy this house that we don't want to live in anymore so we can go move to the other house? That's basically where they are. And they're surprised that nobody is lining up to give them what they want for the house that they couldn't wait to move out of. That's exactly what they're dealing
Pretty
with,
much,
and they
yeah.
act surprised. They
Right.
act surprised that people don't want to give them what they want for the house that they can't wait to move out of.
Yeah, right. That we all have reason to believe that they think the house is leaky, like you're talking about. There's issues. They've given everybody warnings and things to look at it and go, man, I think there's something wrong with this house. We need to check into it a little bit and be careful here.
But it'd be fine for you.
Yeah, right. Exactly right. Yeah, so
We can't live here no more, but it'd be
I'm
fine
with
for you.
And I don't know where it is or why it's like this or whatever, but yes, they are being stubborn as hell here. I understand where they are, as far as not wanting to give them away for free. It's just, I think there is a point, or at least a date, where you got to be careful if he's still on your roster, and do you really want to deal with that?
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.